Out of Orofino, Idaho. I haven't checked Google. I have no idea where it is. But I know it's a small town.
And TJ Altenberger loves what he provides on offense. He says sometimes he'll look at his stat sheet and he'll say this guy's good because of the amount of points he puts up. He said for Chatfield, the difference, he just makes everyone on the court better.
Well, they scouted him out. That one from the corner. The big man found Hall in the corner. One of those corner threes. No good. Heisey grabs the rebound. Gilbert stopped. Turnaround. Good. Move by Trey Stewart.
And that's what he does. You know, he out of the corner. He's a driver. He's the one guy on this team who would much rather put his head down and drive it.
Mag on Gilbert. Mag, one of the better individual defenders. Lost him for a second. Not a great pass.
It was a better defensive play. I mean, it's the right idea. It just was a heck of a defensive play.
Gilbert under the basket and score it with a foul.
Job driving to close out. You have got to keep the ball in front of you. If you keep the ball in front of you, BYU's had a hard time scoring.
That was a big basket for the Cougars. Gilbert, hesitation, left hand finish, plus a foul.
Lewis inside. Townsend had it for a moment. And eventually Gilbert picks it up. Gilbert will try. And hit Keshon Gilbert. Love almost came up with a steal, and now Gilbert splashes one down.
4% as a team, and Dak rattles in both.
Well, their defense continues to improve. They're coming off of the outstanding win against UCF. The number one key in this game is they can't turn the ball over consistently. They've been terrible in that category, 15 turnovers per game. And they also have to handle those Iowa State double teams. You mentioned them going with the bigger lineup. Malone is going to face double teams like he's never faced before.
Off balance, trying to draw a foul. Dylan Mitchell over the top, 3 on the shot clock, and he left it short, and Iowa State comes away with it. Joshua Jefferson. Attacking the basket and the scoop. Keshon Gilbert. Dan Skillings Jr. nearly banks in the 3. Joshua Jefferson the rebound. Here come the Cyclones. Step back. Keshon Gilbert.
Bucket of the game. The UTSA transfer, really nice jump shooter. It's all right there, gets to a mid-range spot. Not going to go all the way to the rim. He's probably going to stop and pop more times than not.
Iowa State on the struggle bus offensively. 0 for their last 4 and 1 for their last 8. Tough 2 by Keshon has 8. Now Jones, transition 3, maybe rushed it. Loose ball, who wants it? Heisey's got it.
Nate Heisey just makes winning plays, doesn't he? I mean, this guy, he knows what he's out there for. Offensive rebounds, steals. He's the kind of teammate you like to play with, man, honestly.
Gilbert for 3. Yes, sir! Was from
NCAA tournament. As we know, to the victor, go the spoils. I reward winners. Keshon Hall, you want to make the top 3, propel your Knights to the NCAA tournament.
All right. The gauntlet has been thrown down to number 4 in white, Keshon Hall. He leads all scorers now with 11. Gilbert. Oh, the right hand shot for Keshon Gilbert. First year in the Big 12.
Some quality wins. Started the season. If Darius Johnson can't convert.
And look at this. Up ahead, the leak out. Gilbert an easy 2. Much
triples to fall here. They're going to make a push back into this game in the final 7 minutes.
9th time this year, Darius Johnson has 3 or more three-pointers.
Good pass.
Gilbert, an easy.
Again.
Show Johnny Dawkins that schedule good to win that game.
No question. And the thing you got to keep in mind for fan bases as the Knights still turning up the heat is that as the Knights look at those games and say those are games that we can win, the opposing teams also look at those games when they see UCF and say, you know what, this is a game that we can win. Oklahoma State at home is going, well, we're bringing in, a Knights team that we should beat. The same thing with Colorado. They've struggled tremendously this year, but they feel it's an opportunity for themselves to get a win.
Over and keep Jackson or Jefferson off the glass. I want no part of that.
Reynolds bumped into Jefferson, who lowered his left hand and knocked the ball free. And at the other end, more points.
And I'd include Punch and Alette with them, is that the pressure and the double teams are speeding them up. They just seem a little bit rushed. And they're off their games a little bit. The freshmen, the young guys need to slow down a little bit.
Gilbert hesitates and kisses. 5 and 6 in conference play.
You can see him now trying to encourage his group. Last couple of possessions on both ends of the floor has been discouraging. Great job there, coming off the pin down. Getting that mid-range jump shot to fall.
Gilbert elects to drive. Nice move, and he finishes.
Down threes.
Yes.
They're 0 for 5 from 3.
Yeah, he'll be back soon, sooner than later. His cast is off. He's working out. Could see him as early as this weekend, next week.
Lipsy feeds Jefferson. Out to Gilbert. And he buries it. He rattles that one home. He knocks both of them down, and it's Kansas by a couple.
Kansas will show man-to-man pressure full court. Not necessarily to steal it, but to steal some time off that shot clock.
Gilbert end to end and puts it in for the Jayhawks. Mayo handling.
Oh, that's good, D.
Jefferson pops out. Gilbert takes it away. And the stuff.
Hunter Dickinson. The pass that led to the pass that led to the assist.
The lead is 14, biggest of the night. Gilbert looking for space. Oh, tough shot. And the lead balloons back to 19, and the crowd on its feet.
Turnover. Keshon Gilbert stumbles down the lane.
Rebounding for Kansas State.
The miss from Keshon.
Way off.
Yeah, he wasn't close. 15 of 17, Kansas State now. The runner, Keshon Gilbert. Iowa State comes in at 17-3 overall. They're 7-2 in the Big 12. Kansas State winning their last 2 as you look at the starting 5 across the bottom there for the Wildcats. And a 3 in transition.
Cyclones and the Wildcats. Gilbert looking for space. The bigger Townsend on him. Lipsy feed inside. Joshua Jefferson.
He's got a mismatch. Nice look.
Good look inside, and they throw line. Tobe Awaka with a dozen, and he's got 7 rebounds to go along with it. And Gilbert answers with a big 3. Carter Bryant, and this time it's short. And Gilbert on the move. Gilbert hesitated for a second. Left.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that was gorgeous.
Oh, it sure was. Because they're going toe-to-toe with a tough team.
Gilbert inside, flips it in. His first 3 of the night. Lipsy. Shot clock under 10. Gilbert will try and hit.
You knew. Little horns action right here. Watch Jones.
Gilbert inside, off the glass, and good. Out Jones with love on it. Jones step back, fires. That's off the mark, but Jackson tracks it down.
Gilbert's been great going to the rim.
Gilbert inside. Oh,
Glass so far, and that's what Phillips gives you. You're not going to run a play for him, but he's big in that paint.
Here's Gilbert. Tough two. Gives Iowa State back the lead. Freeman, no. Watson, another, or that's Jefferson with the rebound. Gilbert with a huge triple. Here's Jihad. Calls his own number, and it's off the back iron.
Best defensive possession of the day by Iowa State. Dialed up when they needed it.
Gilbert looking for a seam. Got it!
Nice job there by Hall off the Ivy Curry miss. Keshon Hall with his first bucket, entering tonight, number 3 in the Big 12, 17 points per game. Gilbert gets Chum on a switch. He'll look to attack and somehow get it around. Coleman will look to attack. Nice wraparound bounce inside to Chum. Missed the bunny. Can't get the tip either. Gilbert with the pull-up J. Money. Denny Williams, the Syracuse transfer, too strong off the window. Gilbert off that Watson screen, back-to-back.
Incredible league. Both teams feel like this is a must-win.
One and done for the Cyclones, and now Gilbert picks the pocket. Gilbert attacks the hoop with the finger roll.
That's elite crossover offense.
It's a much-needed basket from the transfer from Pacific and UTSA, Jordan Ivy Curry. Gilbert, almost like another. Gilbert off that high screen, peels it into the paint. High arcing shot straight.
Second half by UCF.
Knights need some stops now. Gilbert attacking the basket, gets 2. He won't miss those. Boy, both of these teams in the second half shooting lights out. Gilbert on the other end.
They're not going to go 1 for 17 from 3 very often like they did against West Virginia.
Another takeaway. It's Heisey feeding Gilbert. With 31 to play. Gilbert is so good with his body, feeling the cut.
I mean, I think that this Iowa State team has as good of a chance as anybody to win a national championship.
TJ Otzelberger in year 4 has a nice new contract that keeps him in town until 2000.
West Virginia starting to heat up from long distance. Where's the answer? Gilbert at Hansberry. That's a tough finish.
Drops an absolute dime. They need more of that on the offensive side.
Powell, their best three-point shooter behind the injured Tucker DeVries. Gilbert into Yesufu and finishes. Strong take. Clock down to single digits. 5 to shoot. Here's Hansberry.
Well, he's missed 3 in a row. Now he's a little hesitant.
Gilbert inside. Bodies hit the ground, and Gilbert.
Both teams have been playing physical, so you can't say that more missed calls have been on your side than the other one.
7-0 West Virginia run. Cyclones need a bucket. Gilbert, acrobatic layup. Gilbert, the quick.
Zeke Mayo, probably the best shooter on the Kansas roster, misses a 3.
I don't think there's a probably about that. He's the best shooter.
Transferred in from South Dakota State. Keshon Gilbert is back within 2.
Curtis Jones got picked off by a screen. And that left plenty of room for Rylan Griffin.
Floater by Gilbert. It will go.
By the way, last year at Minnesota, and he is in a perfect spot with this Red Raider team to drop dimes. Nice cut right there. Good back cut. Absolutely. I think the difference in this game is the Cyclones' inability to speed Elijah Hawkins up.
Game high 16 for Toppin now. Here's Jackson working on Toppin. Gilbert. And there's the first 3 of the game for the Cyclones. Here's Tech. Still up by 2, but that might be short-lived. Gilbert. Strong take to the hole, and we're tied at 55.
Here where you may see more switching in order to not give up the 3 ball.
Here's Gilbert. Crosses over Anderson. Gets it at close range and gets it to go 13.9 left.
Necessarily his strength, 3rd on the year, but capable of making them.
But this is one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the nation. Gilbert strong to the hole, the bump in the bucket for number 10 in gold, Keshon.
Cut. Asar will go baseline, gets caught up in the air, and he throws it away. Nate Heisey, the UNI transfer. Here comes Gilbert, high stepping into the front court. Gets it over to Momcilovic. Good recognition by Madsen as he sticks with him. Momcilovic kicks it out. Gilbert, rainbow 3, bingo.
Team's playing hard. You're flying up and down. But just another turnover, and this is not going to end well for Utah.
Gilbert all the way in. Good no call there as he muscles it.
You got to get stops, rebound, and try to get ahead of that defense. And if the Cyclones set up, they'll let everybody touch it, move side to side. You've been able to find a few creases, but that's just Matador defense.
66-49. Gilbert into the paint, and he gets the friendly roll here inside Hilton Coliseum.
Moral victories, right, if you're Utah, but they've definitely played better in this game than they have the past couple. They're tougher. I mean, they obviously had a couple good practices, but right now, just no leg.
Aggressive. 2 premier backcourts. Edgecombe straight on. Jackson with the rebound. Both teams do a great job negating fast break opportunities. Keshon Gilbert in that backcourt with Taman Lipsy. There's that matchup forcing a deep shot. How about this kid? Got to attack. Momcilovic. Look at the hustle. 3s, long rebounds. Nice pump. Gilbert, a great finisher. I'll say, what are the... He's had a better year than Edgecombe. He can really fill it up in a variety of nice look here. That's none. And Iowa State with a chance to add to this lead. Gilbert. He's got what he wants here. Gave that dribble up. Automatic switching. So John is having to chase guards all over the floor. Gilbert steps through. That's all that closeout. If he gets hot, you know it. Out. 35th of the year. Shoots at a high number, too. He's a career 46% three-point shooter. And this year, what, 49? Coming in. How deep is that? Ambitious and good. And that body over there, the coach? Yes. Would you believe he has blueberry pancakes for breakfast? Doesn't seem right. Oh, Raph. That's cold-blooded.
Because he was hurt with a knee injury towards the end of last year. He's been a terrific pickup. That's a live ball turnover, and that's a bucket. Defensively, they double the post every time it gets in there. But for Colorado, you got to find different ways to get the ball to the post. Not necessarily a wing entry, but you can go high-low. You can get the ball on the low block in different ways. That's Gilbert. This is Dak. Kind of gangly, but's got some skills. And that ball was, I believe, partially blocked. Well, it may have been a foul. I know Tad Boyle wanted it, but Dak didn't do himself any favors by his lack of balance going into the finish opportunity.
Gilbert right down the lane, and he lays it up and in. Momcilovic back in the ball game for Iowa State. Gilbert, Lipsy in the backcourt right now. Momcilovic. Remember Baskin, right in the key right now. He's got 2 fouls. He couldn't defend there. 5-point lead. Gilbert in traffic. That's a big bucket for the Cyclone. Hand off to Smith in the lane. Floater, left hand, no. Malone's tip, no. Numbers for the Cyclone. Gilbert walking through.
Wow. Out of the net. Just hasn't happened yet today, obviously, on the first possession.
Keshon Gilbert with the steal. Gilbert to the rim and the bucket.
Yeah, and one thing that will...
Edwards to press.
Yeah, Morgan State showing a little bit of a diamond here, kind of walking Iowa State back, trying to create some tempo, but the ball kicks to the middle of the floor, and right, no doubt about that. And think about this, they're coming off of a finals week, and everyone is probably going home today and or tomorrow. So a lot on their minds this week with school and the holidays.
Gilbert again, floater, good.
Yep, scored in
a couple days from Christmas. It is nearly sold out at Hilton. Chatfield goes for the rebound, gets it. Over to Keshon Gilbert. Gilbert drives, hangs in the air, and finishes.
Yeah, Morgan.
Lead at 4. A close first half. Gilbert to Lipsy. Gets the screen from Chatfield. Lipsy to Gilbert. Gilbert spins. Keshon Gilbert. And that's goaltending.
Yeah, 100%.
Big first half.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He plays so well down there on both ends of the floor. He has a great feel.
Gilbert to the rim, easy.
Yeah, Jackson just cleared Wade out of the way on that one. Thomas got that to go, and Keshon Gilbert did a really good job of contesting and not fouling, but Will Thomas got it to go anyway, right back to the zone.
That's good defense, but a better shot.
Yes.
Lipsy to Jefferson. Back to Taman. Taman drives, dish. Gilbert, finish.
Fantastic finish. Taman
thought he was about to heat up. Long pass. Underneath, Smith, and swatted away at the rim. Gilbert, yes!
Just defense turned into offense, really good help.
When Iowa State tags the roll man, it helps. You see, there's a steal. Jones is the tag man there and help defense.
Dumps it off to Gilbert. A tough finish with the
tough contested shots.
J.J. White, 8 points, 3 of 4. Momcilovic, no good. Heisey fights for the offensive rebound. Gilbert thought about it. He'll rethink it. Fires.
Kill shots of the afternoon. 11-0 run. A kill shot is a 10-0 run. Anytime a team in the game has at least one 10-0 run, one kill shot, their chance of winning is over 76%. And I know that's a geeky
oh, I love it, please.
But
take my glasses in the middle and tell me more of it. Because another bucket is good here.
That is capable of winning a national championship. So when you say the phrase national championship, you have to do plays like that. One-on-one. Causing that double team. He almost got the steal at the half court. Didn't give up on the play. Active, aggressive. Easily one of the best defenders in the country, period, regardless of position.
And you pointed out, just watch his feet defensively. Whether it's on ball or off the ball. Hester everywhere. Gilbert, tough bucket. Sent to the deck and takes the tested bucket. White now with 10 points, 4-9 from the field. We were talking about the first half. At the 8-minute mark, Iowa State had 8 turnovers and 2 assists. Since then, they've registered 15 turnovers to just 15 assists to just 3 turnovers.
Their defense has been impressive inside. Look at this kid.
From the logo, no, but another chance. Gilbert up and under. Wow! In traffic tonight as Freeman comes out. Dembele Back on the floor, Seydou Traore, his return also on the floor, number 7 for Iowa. And here's Gilbert, corner 3, and it's smooth.
Well, everybody runs that play. You got to be.
Sanford. Now Dix with 5. Tough 3 from the wing. And all Iowa State on the glass. Here comes Gilbert. The extra step in the paint, and 2 more. Ooh, so many weapons.
Iowa State is going all over all dribble handoffs, trying to make it very hard on Jackson State. And now you have Jackson with great ball pressure for another turnover for a layup.
Hoover to Wilson. It's knocked away, stolen by Jefferson. Here's Keshon Gilbert. Gilbert, what a finish.
Man, that's a really good call there, because he can shoot it in, he can cut and finish.
Speaking of Gilbert and the finish, there it is. And finishes it.
A little Keshon Gilbert wise, but hey, right back at you. If you're going to, Reyna's come out and really played aggressive this half so far. Is finding shooters. He's trying to turn the corner on some of these ball screens and dribble handoffs.
Look out, Keesh.
Yeah, and Jones rarely misses short. He usually misses long, which is what, when great shooters miss, they miss long. They don't miss short. That's rare for him.
Gilbert in transition, skies for the finger roll.
That's not rare.
Backside, Chetfield coming over. You know, TJ Altenberger loves Chetfield, and he's just the perfect big that fits the Iowa State. We're going to keep using this word all night, culture. He's tough, he's physical, he goes out there and plays extremely hard. He does everything that Altenberger wants a big man to do.
Gilbert, 2 off the window, and that. There's Jones working on Lipsy. Cam Jones frustrated in the first 10+ minutes of this contest. Can't say the same about Keith.
Once again, you see the body control. He's as good as any guard in America when it comes to controlling his body on attack.
And here comes a turnover and transition offense, and that is the Cyclones.
Your way, but the longer you play, things can change in a real quick instant.
Jones, who's 30th in the nation in scoring, just 1 for 5 in the early going here in Ames.
Well, that's also partly due to, like I said earlier, Lipsy and Gilbert are 2 of the best defensive guards that he's probably seen all year.
And now fends off Jackson for the tough 2.
Talk about Gilbert's finishing, where Jones is close, if not on the same level. Right there, such a tough bucket, right hand with the left-handed player.
Gilbert again from beyond the leading the break. He's a one-man fast break. Gets his own miss. And somehow gets it up and in.
They're both efficient scorers, playmakers, and they mean so much to their team. And whoever plays the best out of these 2 guys going down the stretch, I think will win this ball game.
Here's Gilbert with the rock from the free throw line, right on cue.
No weak teams, nothing close to that here in Mount. Dayton, I think, is a second weekend team. Nice look ahead, Lipsy to Gilbert.
2 turn deals. Colorado has been really active with hands as well, to knock the ball away, get their own turnovers, and make it difficult on Iowa State.
And they've done a nice job on Keshon Gilbert. He's been that's him with the ball right now. He's been one of the best players in this tournament. Quiet until there. That's his second make. Gilbert and Jones in the backcourt right now. The 3 guards kind of rotating as Lipsy has gone back to the bench. Lipsy's been dealing with a bit of a left shoulder issue. Fell in practice about a week ago. Has played through a lot of things in his time. TJ Altenberger says he's tough as nails, but physically not quite 100% here in this tournament. Keshon Gilbert. Yakimovsky drives into the chest of Chatfield. Good contest. And here come the Cyclones. Gilbert ahead of the pack. What a block, but count the basket. It's a goaltending.
Nice job in containing him, but he bounced back in a big way against UConn. And those 10 rebounds against UConn were huge.
Gilbert for 3.
Out of the painted area. Posh Alexander, Javon Bennett, Malachi Smith. These guys can slide their feet. So it's going to be even more difficult for the Cyclones to get in the paint today. They're going to have success beyond the arc.
Gilbert continue with the steal.
And I've known Posh for a long time. I don't know if I've ever seen him without the headband. But
it's a battle of headbands right now. Here's Gilbert the other way.
Remember, Gilbert got his head.
So that's the
leader for the Flyers in scoring, rebounding, and steals that's sitting for now. A little over 8 minutes to go in the first frame. Lipsy working against Malachi Smith. Found a streaking Keshon in this possession. That pass knocked away. Loose basketball. And Gilbert comes out of there with it. Gilbert tears down the lane.
On a free ball of his own.
How about Malachi Smith splitting the D? Some contact, no whistle. Gilbert, it was 1-on-3. He doesn't care. Goes up and finishes.
Why should
Iowa State up by 2. And of course, it's Gilbert controlling. Gilbert down the lane. Key challenges and Gilbert finishes. 5 seconds to shoot. Baker Mazzara in trouble, getting trapped along the sideline, turns it over. Gilbert down the lane, somehow got it up and in.
That is a
one of the most sought-after prospects in the country, and Broom missing a bunny. You don't see that often.
But it was a great job by Gilbert, really stunting, getting in front, and really just distracting Broom.
Gilbert with the double clutch.
Keshon, what we talked to us about yesterday is they have to be the tougher team. And again, when you're coming in playing against Auburn, that's a lot to ask.
Gilbert doing it himself.
However, now one of 2 Tigers in double figures as they get the lead back down to 11. And a little momentum on the side of the Auburn Tigers.
Tigers trying to finish this opening half strong. Crossover move by Gilbert. On the floor, playing with the 2 fouls. Gilbert off the opposite leg, off balance.
But he sent from the line on the season. One of the things that he hasn't done great.
Another turnover. Ahead it goes. Here's Gilbert. Muscles his way to the rim. So Chris Moore on the floor here for Auburn. One of the vocal leaders in the locker room, averaging just 12 minutes per game, but they're getting a little thin there in the... My goodness.
I will say yes to the question I asked you earlier. I'll answer it. Yes, he is making the same type of difference on this first possession on offense.
12 second half points for Chad Baker Mazzara. Step back, Gilbert, and he responds.
You've had time during the huddle to be able to do so, and now you find yourself an opportunity to tie or get the lead back.
It's Gilbert. Now Lipsy off the screen. Gilbert the drive, open seam, and we're tied.
That on that replay, just a great look cross court, finding that corner.
Here's Gilbert attacking. And an N1. Garner with the hard spin. Can't get the bucket, and the rebound to Jefferson. Here's Gilbert on full attack. N1 coming up.
Well, they lose by 16 there, and coach was still happy, going, hey, we dropped 80 points. You know, he thinks he's got a really good team here. Again, as we talked about, there's a lot of size on that bench and injuries right now, so they're kind of undermanned.
Gilbert able to track that back down as it was tipped in backward. Keshon will drive it and finish it.
Clock down. Just that little 7-8 seconds gets the shot clock down. Now they have to hurry and get a travel out of it.
Here's Gilbert. Clock winding down at the horn. Got it. Here's Chatfield, who just entered the game again. Hall in the paint. Can't get the layup. And the rebound to Gilbert.
Good pass and a good cut. Just couldn't quite get it to go. But here comes the Cyclones in semi-transition.
Gilbert. Got it.
Other stuff. They're overthinking when they catch the ball. They're worried about it not going in because it hasn't. You just got to keep playing, and the natural game will come to you because you're a good basketball player.
12th turnover of the game by the Roos. Gilbert will finish. The Summit League play. Well, really the goal, in fact, preseason pick to win the Summit. And eyes and attention on that, trying to get better every time out.
And you like what Coach Menzies done. They're doubling the post. They're trying to trap the wing a little bit. So they're changing up their defense and not just allowing them to do the same thing.
Number 4 in the country a year ago in points allowed per game, 61.5. Steal by Jefferson. Jefferson pitches it in deep to Gilbert, and the side
shooters. The right guys are shooting them. They just haven't gone in yet versus this Mississippi Valley State zone.
take away Keshon Gilbert. Keshon drives. Reverse layup beauty. And the Smith National Coach of the Year award.
Yeah, very well deserved.
Trouble in the lane, and it's that takeaway. Knocked away by Jackson. Picked up by Gilbert. Gilbert spins, takes it to the rack and scores.
Unbelievable feat.
And those guys really are capable almost any evening of maybe coming up with those kind of numbers on a given night.
Well, yes, the way they play, the way they operate, the way you can get out, the way you can get on the break like this, those numbers can add up very quickly.
Gilbert drives and scores again.
Better block.
Out of the corner, it's Greg Moore. And the rebound tip from Jones over to Jefferson. Gilbert all the way to the brim to score.
Yeah.